It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey folks, I'm taking a look at one of the games in the Paco Games line, and today we are taking a look at Gem. Gem is a bidding game, once around bidding game in which you are trying to collect gems and see who gets the most points at the end for the win. Let me show you. The objective of Gem is to have the most victory points, and you're going to get those victory points from these gem cards. These gem cards feature typically 1 or 2 gems, and at the end of the game, you are going to get a point for every gem you have in front of you, unless the cards are like this in front of you, which means with this red side up means they're invested, they don't count. But if you have them like this, you get a point for every gem. You're going to get 2 points if you have a majority of a gem type and you're splitting that majority. So I have the most, tied with someone else for the most, and I'm going to get 3 victory points for each type of gem that I have an exclusive majority. I solely have the most. Each round of the game is going to be very straightforward. You are going to flip over all the cards for that round. As you can see here, I've made little piles for all the different rounds. And you're going to lay them up, and then you are basically going to be bidding with what's in front of you, and we start with some money, as you can see, to be able to acquire one of the gem cards. The way that works is the opening bidder is going to make a bid. They can say 0 if they want to, and you don't have to say which is the gem you are interested in. You just make a bid. So for example, if I am the start player here, I could say 2. And then the next player would go, and they can, let's say a higher number. They could say 3, they could say 4, anything they want to. They could pass. Let's say they pass right now, and that player is going to say 3. What they do then is they spin the cards they've spent. Let's say they spent the 3 here, which looks like this. And as you can see, if the green, there we go, come on. If the green stripe turns upside down, then it's spent. And then they pick the card they want to. And when it comes into play for them, it itself will be spent, basically. Once that's done, then the next player after the highest bidder there becomes the new opening bidder, and they are going to make a new bid for one of these tiles. As you can see here, the bids are once around. We do not keep going. It's just one time. And so I could say 3, I'll say this time. This player is going to, again, they'll pass. And that player cannot beat my 3 because all they have is a 2 and a 1 there, so they'll have to pass. I'll pay my 3. I'll win one of these gems. I'll take this one, turn it over, slide it in front of me. This player is the opening bid, and they are going to say 3 themselves. They take it. They are going to take this in front of them, pay the 3, and that's almost the end of the round. What happens next is the reinvestment phase, and what this means is that now you can spend leftover money to reacquire spent gems. So the gems that have this red stripe facing up, you can pay to get those back. So for example, I here have this unspent, and this is used up, it's invested. And so I can spend 2, and I get this one back because it says 2 right there. And once everyone's had a chance to do this, then we all get our money back. The money, the 1, the 2, and the 3, those keep coming back to you. But from now on, every new round, I can use any gem cards for that value as part of my bid. And obviously, they then are spent, and I would have to hopefully buy them back. You don't have to buy them back, but if they are still spent, invested like this at the end of the game, they don't count at all in the game. So you want to make sure that you use them, but are able to, to get them back. And so the game continues like this. This player will spend this 2 and get this, and then everything back. This player does have enough. They have 3, which is what this card needs. This card needs 3, and then they'll get it back. All right, and then we play another round where we flip over these cards here, and we bid on those. The diamonds here are going to score slightly differently at the end, but everything else is basically the same. And we do it again. You make a bid. You can, if you win, you can then take anything that's left. You don't have to say what you're going for, and you are hoping to have everything available to you at the end of the game so you can score it. You get a point for every gem that's not invested. You get 2 points on top of that if you have a tied majority with someone else, and you get 3 victory points if you have majority all by yourself. Highest score is the winner. This little bidding game is a fantastic little filler. There's an incredible amount of game in this tiny little box, 30 cards, but really interesting choices. I love bidding games that are once around. It's probably one of my favorite kinds of bidding because it's so tense. You don't play that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it starts to get interesting. You don't play that game. You just go, I'll bid 4. Ooh, wow, everybody does the thing. And so I like that in this one. I love that the gems, you can use previous gems to buy new gems, but then you got to buy those back or you don't score them. The flow of saving value versus going in strong and getting something, because if you save it, then you can get a gem back at the end of that round. It's such a tight little design, really clean, nothing extra here. It has exactly what it needs to have. I've been rating all these games from 1 to 8 in the line of games. 1 being my favorite, 8 being my least favorite, and this gem is number 2. It's a really great game. I think the line overall of these pack of games really is a strong line of games, and this one is definitely one of the better games in the line. If you want something you can put in your pocket, but has a little bit of a bite to it when you bring it out, a really interesting bidding game, check this one out. Gem.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.